So the first topic is about the previews, and I would like to start this section with this illustration, and it should illustrate the number of official announcements AWS did in the last 16 years. So they started with 2 announcements in 2004, 7 announcements in 2005, and more. And last year, 2019, there were nearly 2,000 new announcements. So this is quite amazing. It's 4 to 5 announcements every day. And if it continues like this, we will have a very interesting feature. So 77 of these 2,000 new releases and main features were announced in last reInvent conference. So within 3 days, we had a lot of new interesting things to use. 15 of these product launches and announcements are in a preview state. So my intention now is to take you to a journey to discover all of these new releases, new announcements, which are in preview. And I have 15 minutes time for doing this. So 1 minute per announcement. So that's quite a challenge, but I try to go with you through all the services as good as possible. So let's start the journey at warp speed. Please fasten your seatbelts. We're gonna start now. So the first preview is AWS Fraud Detector. Fraud Detector is an anomaly mechanism to detect anomalies. We can do this based on pre-existing templates. There are templates for online fraud insight, there are templates for account takeover, and there are templates for transaction fraud. So you can simply use this one, put it in production, and then you should be able to detect anomalies. If there is no template available, you can also create your own by uploading historical data, do some basic feature engineering, train your model, and then do a deployment to the production. And then if you like, you can also do some modification through the SageMaker integration, and then you can make it live and use this model to detect some special things going on. AWS new Amazon SageMaker notebook, kind of a new release of the already existing SageMaker notebook. It comes with a name of a SageMaker Studio, and it has a lot of new features that makes it very easily to interact with this service. So, for example, you don't need to wait anymore when you start a Jupyter notebook until the EC2 instance in the background is spinned up and ready. You can simply press a button and everything is there. You can start coding. There is also the possibility to integrate through a single sign-on service with an existing authentication provider. It's fully managed, and you have also a very easy to use feature, which is called collaboration. With this one, you can share your notebook, your code with other teammates. AWS Deep Composer. Deep Composer gives you the possibility to play around with the so-called GA networks. With GA networks, you can generate new data based on some input. So you can basically create new creative data, and in this way, you can create new melodies, new sounds by using an external or a virtual keyboard. So these networks, they work like this. You have kind of 2 neuronal networks, and they play against each other. And by playing against each other, you can create new data, and by doing this, you, in this example, could easily become the new pop star by creating new melodies based on some basic input. Contactland for Amazon Connect. So this is an add-on for the existing Amazon Connect service. It comes with a couple of very interesting features. For example, the voice to text transcription. So basically, it automatically translates language to text. And then you have an enhanced search mechanism to search through all the spoken text. There is also a sentiment trend analysis. So you can real-time figuring out how your customer at the other end feels like, if he's angry, if he's happy, and based on that, you can react on a certain way. There is also a mechanism to detect the characteristic or the theme of a topic, and then you can categorize and search through a certain topic. Next service, which is in preview, is AWS Coderoo. Coderoo has kind of two flavors. First one, it can detect or measure the quality of your code. It is doing this by a trained model. The model was trained by AWS internal code snippets and some open source projects, which were already reviewed and peer-reviewed. And so they give you advices about how to optimize your code in terms of quality. And the other feature is to optimize your code in terms of performance. So you can detect performance issues within your code, and Coderoo will give you some recommendations to improve your code. Very exciting. Next service, Amazon Candra. Amazon Candra is like an internal search engine. Candra comes with some native connectors like S3, SharePoint, or file servers. So you can connect internal structured or unstructured data within this service. You can index it, and with some natural language understanding and processing mechanisms, you can ask very intelligent questions. For example, this one, when is reInvent? And the Candra will answer with the correct document, and it will highlight the correct or the most interesting things to answer. In this example, December 2nd until 6th of December. Very cool. AWS Graviton 2 processor. Graviton 2 processor is the new version of the Graviton 1 processor family. In 2015, AWS bought a silicon manufacturing company, which is called Annapurna Labs. And so since then, they were able to produce their own CPUs. And based on that, they created this service, this compute infrastructure, this ARM-based CPUs. And with this version 2, you get more performance by lowering the cost, having more memory, and gives you a lot of new opportunities. For example, you can use this processor generation to doing some ML inference and some compression stuff. So try to have a look if you could use this new processor family. Amazon Bracket. This is a very exciting new service. So this service makes you, gives you the opportunity to experiment with quantum computing. And if you're kind of a normal person like I am, and you don't work for kind of a laboratory or a research department within Google and IBM, you may not have the possibility to create your own quantum computing algorithms, with this service you can test the algorithms on a simulator, and if you're good to go, you can also deploy them on Rigetti D-Wave for IonQ computing, quantum computing infrastructure. So this is very exciting. Next preview, Amazon managed Apache Cassandra. This is a managed service, as the name implies. It is compatible with the Apache version of Cassandra. It's like DynamoDB. It's a NoSQL database. A NoSQL database is a so-called key-value database, and Cassandra is a so-called wide column database. So you also have a query language, which is called CQL, Cassandra Query Language, and you can start querying Cassandra through this language. Everything fully managed, don't need to manage hardware, so it's a serverless service and high available and very secure. Amazon RDS Proxy. RDS Proxy sits between your database and your application. And as the name implies, it proxies database connection requests. So basically, you can pool and share established connections. And by doing this, you can speed up the performance, and you can also set up some security features directly on RDS, basically for managing access credentials to databases. And one other important thing is that you increase the performance because you don't have to rely on DNS. RDS Proxy simply reroutes to another database target if one should go down. So this could really make sense for your application architecture. UltraWarm for Amazon Elasticsearch. So what's UltraWarm? It's kind of a new storage tier. There is already a storage tier which is called hot storage tier. This is still the fastest tier. It is based on SSD, very fast. But with this alternative, you have another very fast, not that fast as the hot storage tier, but still very fast at a very cheap cost. So it costs you 1/10 of the costs of hot tier. You don't need to adjust the API or your code. You can simply reuse it, and you can store up to 10 petabytes of data, fully managed, highly integrated. So if you have still enough performance, why not using this one? Deploy a cheaper version of your Elasticsearch engine. Amazon Redshift Federated Query is a service that helps to aggregate multiple storage targets. So with this, within one query, you can query multiple data sources, for example, S3, other warehouses, or operational databases like RDS. So if you try to create new business intelligence applications, this could make a lot of sense to simplify your queries, to simplify your architecture by speed up the whole system. Very interesting as well. Another service, which is called AWS Defective, is not in the preview phase anymore. It was launched 10 days ago, and you can already use it. So basically, it depends on other existing security services like Macy, like GuardDuty, like CloudTray. But instead of just showing your internal data, you can really drill down and you can really see the root cause of a potential security threat. So it gives you some findings of suspicious actions, and you can drill down and really see how the data are stored behind the scenes. What do you need to do to make the solution secure again? Cool service. Try to use it. HTTP APIs for Amazon API Gateway. What the hell is this? It's kind of a more easy to use front end for the already existing AWS API Gateway. It is quite easy to use, as I said, because you do not have to handle stages. You don't have to deploy every change manually. So every change that you do is live, directly live. You don't need to deploy anymore. And you also have some GUIs where you can configure cores, or where you can configure the JW tokens directly within the service without using Lambda and other stuff. Simply use the GUI and click you through. So I really like that one. This is the last service that I'm gonna present you, which is called Event Bridge Schema Registry. As the name implies, this is an event bridge, kind of an event bus, and it helps if you have kind of a microservice-based architecture, which is an event-based architecture. So every event can be stored and sent through this event bus. So it's a very good architectural way on how you can develop microservice-oriented architectures. The main thing here is that you can also store the schema of a certain event, and then you can query an event, and then you will get back all the attributes, the whole schema of the event, and you know how to operate with this event. So this could be a very cool service if you do a re-architecting of an existing feature, or if you do a greenfield application. That's it.